The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens.
Hey, you two crossing the river. I need you to come back on the side, please.
Conservation officers in Michigan's northern lower peninsula patrol anglers during the busy fall salmon run.
Conservation officer, you are under arrest. If you cut that line, you will go to jail. Do you understand me now?
And an officer in southern Michigan visits an elementary school and introduces them to the profession.
They go on boats and stuff, and they save people.
Wild animals and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. Michigan's fall salmon run brings large numbers of fish into the rivers throughout the state. Some of the best fishing opportunities, however, occur in two rivers, the Platte and the Betsy, and their tributaries in the northwestern corner of the Lower Peninsula in the state's District 4. With so many fish in the area, a lot of anglers venture there with the hopes of catching a trophy king, coho, or Atlantic salmon. Many of those targeting these spawning fish are Michigan residents, but there are frequently also a high number of anglers from across the nation and even other countries.
The things people can use right now are they can use single point hooks with a hook gap less than a ½ inch, or they can use multi-pointed hooks as long as they're attached to a spinner, spoon, stick bait, as long as the bait isn't primarily constructed of lead. And those hooks on those baits have to be less than 3/8 of an inch point to shank. So most of the time the guys that are trying to do it legit don't have a problem staying within those guidelines because you don't need great big hooks to land big fish.
While he's on his way to patrol salmon fishermen, this officer spots a potential issue that he wants to look into.
Stop in and talk to this guy. Just had a quad coming at us on this crossroad, coming down riding without a helmet. Saw him for quite some distance coming down the road. He just pulled in over to a fish cleaning station here. Stop in and talk to him, see what else we got going on. Where are you coming from?
Down here up of Bear Creek. We're just down the road about a ½ mile.
Okay, you camping down there or are you fishing down there?
We've got 40 acres right up the road here.
Okay. The reason I'm stopping to talk to you, I saw you coming down the road, you didn't have a helmet on.
Yes, sir.
Got to be wearing a helmet. I also don't see any ORV stickers. Do you have any registration stickers on the machine? Is this your machine or?
No, it's right down the road here.
Okay. Is this your knife or?
Nope.
Okay. I'm just gonna take that out of there for the time being.
Sure.
Someone get a deer?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay. I just saw the butt out tool. So.
Leave it in there.
Okay. All right. Do you have your identification on you?
Yep.
All right. How many fish do you guys get?
My two.
Just those two?
Yeah.
All right. All right, if you would, give me just a minute. If you want to go ahead and get your other fish hung up and whatever.
Just so I'm clear on that. You can ride a motorcycle without a helmet, but not this. I didn't.
Okay, so a motorcycle, with a motorcycle, you're required to carry insurance. Okay, so you're insured going down the roadways.
Right,
okay,
right.
Motorcycles are primarily meant to be on pavement. Okay, and being on main roads, whatever, and you're running with insurance. Makes a huge difference.
All right.
With four-wheelers, you're not required to carry insurance. You're typically on uneven terrain, muddy, slippery, whatever type terrain.
Right.
Going through the woods, that kind of stuff, and it's a totally separate laws. The ORV laws are governed under 324 regulations. Motorcycles are plated vehicles. Okay, so it's a totally different aspect. And like I said, just a couple of issues. One, you didn't have the ORV sticker coming down the road, which you are required to have. But to me, the bigger safety concern, especially the way you're coming down the road, was not wearing the helmet.
Okay.
So,
makes sense. I did not know that. My bad.
Give me just a minute.
Yep.
He He was riding down the road, not wearing a helmet. Helmets are required on ORVs. It's a big safety thing. They're not meant for on-road operation or higher speed operation. They are required by state law to wear helmets on ORVs. He also did not have a ORV safety or a ORV registration sticker on the machine. They're both civil infraction violations. In these situations where there's no helmet and no ORV sticker, I have a tendency to go with the safety violation over the registration thing. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to issue him a ticket for not wearing a helmet on the ORV.
In this case, for not wearing a helmet while operating an ORV, this man pled guilty and paid a court-ordered fine of $100.
It's a safety thing more than anything. I gave you a warning for the not having the ORV sticker.
All right.
Okay. It's first weekend of October. We're getting ready to patrol for fish violations, guys snagging fish, netting fish. We're going to be going into some of the skinny waters, more of the reproduction grounds, looking for the guys that are causing significant damage to the resource.
Along with this officer, Michigan CO Becky Hubers is also patrolling salmon anglers on a busy weekend during the fall spawning run. Officer Hubers is meeting up with two other fellow COs who found a fish with a snag mark on it that was left on the banks of the river. They would all like to question two people who they observed near the fish.
So this is Sergeant Dan Bigger, supervisor for Area 4-1, and behind him is Conservation Officer Amanda McCurdy. She came out of Recruit School 8, correct? All right. And we're walking downstream on the Platte to get to some people on the other side that we can't access, obviously, from the main side. So we're just gonna follow this ridge and then cut back into the river. Try not to get completely swamped.
Hey, you two crossing the river. Ma'am, sir, I need you to come back on the side, please. Bring your fish. Sorry, I don't know if that's a young person or not.
Young lady.
Okay. Just come back the way you came, okay? Not to me, just so you know where you can cross.
How are you today?
Hi.
How was the fishing?
This was one of three. I had 3 on.
3 on. Only able to bring 1 in.
I'm gonna be by her.
Watch your step there.
And is this
Daughter.
daughter? Okay. All right. How old is she?
17.
Let's take a look at a couple fishing licenses.
Yeah. She doesn't have one.
She doesn't have one.
On 18.
17 actually. But you need one.
Are you serious?
Yeah. As soon as
Alright,
you
well, that's a
turn
problem.
17. How are you today?
And I had a little water action.
Oh my.
Cold? I think I can replicate it off my phone also.
The phone stay dry at least.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Fort Wayne.
Okay.
Leo actually, but it's right there.
Good deal.
How'd I do?
Yeah. Well, that's the sport card.
That's behind me.
Oh, the license is behind it? All right.
Who's fishing here in the weeds? That I don't know. It was there when we were leaving.
I think I stepped on it.
You guys did not drop any fish in the bushes at all? Okay.
You guys didn't hook into this fish?
No, when we were leaving, I noticed it getting into the water.
Okay. It took a hook on the bottom. Do you see it?
I do, but I honestly, it wasn't mine.
Did you guys touch it at all? Or?
I did when I got out of the water.
What's that?
I did when I got in the
I
water.
mean, to look at it or anything?
I bumped it and pushed it around, but yeah, I mean, I did touch it. But
Okay.
I didn't, it's not my fish. Like when we were leaving, I got in the water and fell very deep.
Yeah.
And then I noticed there was a fish. I was making sure it wasn't that fish. And yeah.
Okay. Thanks for coming back across. We needed to just double check everything. And I know you were almost 3/4 away, but I'm like, I'm not running around to go.
Sure.
17.
and I didn't.
All right. Yeah, we'll just take it as an education tool.
I appreciate it.
As soon as you turn 17 in the state of Michigan,
It is
you need a fishing
17. Well,
license,
I have
so
other kids, so that's good to know. I'll make sure that I.
when you make the trip back, just go ahead and make sure you get them a fishing license prior.
If you're going fishing later on today, you gotta buy one on the internet or whatever.
Yeah,
Get it
we're
pretty
actually.
good. Done for the.
Yeah, we're camping over here.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna fish tomorrow?
No.
No?
We were going to, but my tent didn't stay as dry as I thought it was going to. So
Understood.
we're over it.
Okay, ready to go home.
Understood. Understood.
All right.
Cool.
Well, we're all set then.
All right then. Thanks. I appreciate the leverage or whatever leniency on the 17-year-old.
That's all right. The last thing we want to do is deter any fishing activity.
Right, yeah.
So
Thanks.
The officers give the 17-year-old angler a break for not having a license. Although she and her father were next to the fish in question, the officers accept their story that they were not the ones who snagged it. Sergeant Bigger attempts to return the fish to the river.
One of the reasons we are coming over here is this fish here was found in the weeds. We weren't sure what it was here for. However, nobody put it on their stringer. And if you look right down here on the belly, you can see it had been snagged. And so that'd be a foul hooked fish, so nobody can possess it. The individuals who actually just left, they said that they didn't catch it, looked at it, touched it, but didn't keep it, which is what we want. What happens when the fish are foul hooked, they get stressed out, and they'll usually end up dying on the shorelines or down by the weir, and they'll float downstream. So one of the reasons we don't want them snagging is because it's stressing the fish, and this fish isn't in too bad a shape right now. And trying to see here, it actually looks like a female. So that's why we're here looking at these fish, and that's why we made the contact with the individuals that were just here. But, I'm going to try and get this fish to breathe and maybe live, but I don't know how successful we'll be. Yeah, this one's probably not going to make it. So its gills aren't taking any oxygen. It doesn't look like. Huh, maybe. Had a little bit of a tail kick.
Good morning, class. Is everyone glad to be back after winter break? Yeah, well, that's good. Look at all those yeses. I am a conservation officer for the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. Has anyone heard of the Department of Natural Resources?
Michigan Conservation Officer Jeremy Beavers is visiting Westwood Elementary School in Portland, Michigan, to give some third-grade students there an idea of what he does on a day-to-day basis to protect the state's natural resources.
The students at Westwood have been learning about Michigan and the history of Michigan, and that's our social studies unit. So I thought it would be great to have Officer Beavers come in and talk to the students about preserving natural resources and learning a little bit more about Michigan and just a little bit more about their state and how to preserve it.
They give me a truck, they give me a dirt bike, a kayak, a boat, a snowmobile, all those fun toys. So if it's a nice summer day and I feel like it, I can start my day at home on my dirt bike and patrol the whole county.
Then we got to touch the fur and the feathers and the elk antlers and then the deer antlers.
After a brief talk, CO Beavers gave the students an opportunity to interact with some of the items he'd brought from home and from the DNR.
I showed the class some different furs, a skunk, raccoon, beaver. I had some elk antlers, some deer antlers, a porcupine skull, some turkey feathers. I also showed them some books that officers can use when they're patrolling the county. Try to identify different species, whether it's fish or birds or trees, just some useful tools that we have in our toolbox.
It's kind of cool to meet a police officer and then see all these furs. You can use snowmobiles, motorbikes, and all that fun stuff.
And we got to look at some books that he showed us about the animals and tracks. They gave us pencil sharpeners and measuring tape and like coloring books and all that stuff.
One of the goals of conservation officers when they interact with young people is to try to get them to be comfortable around members of the law enforcement community.
Over 90% of our contacts are positive. We patrol throughout the county. If we see someone angling, hunting, on a boat, ORVs, we'll make contact, talk with them, make sure everything's occurring safely, make sure they're abiding by all laws, but generally it's just a positive contact.
I think it went very well. I think the students thought it was pretty cool to be able to show what they know and what they've learned about Michigan, being able to share things they know like the Great Lakes and the state birds and state flowers. Also good for them to be able to know the occupation, if it's something they're interested in. He talked to them about how they would go about doing something like that, if this is something that they would be interested in the future. And he brought the kids a lot of goodie bags, and they're enjoying those right now, and I think they're pretty excited about that.
This Michigan conservation officer is just starting to patrol salmon anglers during the first weekend in October.
All right. Good. How long have you guys been fishing?
A couple minutes. So.
Oh, just a couple minutes? Yeah. Haven't got anything though, eh? I'm clear. You're all set?
All right.
You guys certainly have one, so good luck to you guys.
Yeah, you too.
All right, take care.
Safe out there.
You betcha.
After checking the licenses of a few anglers fishing from a bridge, he heads into the woods to observe the fishing activity in Bear Creek. It doesn't take him long to spot some fishermen who he'll likely want to speak to soon.
Guy right over here, he's got a blue sweatshirt on, looks like camo knee boots. He's got an M60 spider, a weighted treble hook with pink yarn on it. Now, there's several in the group I have a feeling they're all doing the same thing, but we can't move on them until we can get past these guys. So we're just gonna hang tight and see what happens here, but they're gonna be our primary focus right now. There's the hook right there, the pink. They both have knives stuck right here in the front of their waders, which is real common for fishermen because they're cutting the knots, whatever. But these guys, they've already heard some brush break behind them. They've both stopped and looked, whatever. So I pretty much guarantee you upon trying to make contact with these guys, they're gonna turn their backs to us, try and pull the knife and cut the line, dispose of whatever they have on their lines. So we got to try to get close and try to get it so they don't cut their lines and so we can maintain our evidence.
After the anglers that were between them have moved, this CO acts quickly to make contact with the subjects he's been watching.
State Conservation Officer, you are under arrest. If you cut that line, you will go to jail. Do you understand me now? Lift your line out of the water. Straight up out of the water. Get in the river, come to my side. That hook remains on your line.
Yes, sir.
You know why I'm contacting you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Obviously, these weighted hooks like this, you can't even possess in the state, much less use. Okay.
I got it passed on, so.
Okay. How many more of these do you have?
That's the only thing I got on me.
Come on, you got more than that. You got them up in the truck?
No, sir.
Here's the deal. You can't even possess them in the state.
Okay.
Okay. So if you got them in the truck, now's the time to get rid of them before you get charged with another one sometime.
Okay.
You got more up in the truck, right?
I got like one.
Okay. We're gonna go back to the truck and we're gonna get it out of the truck. Okay. How many fish do you guys have?
None.
None. Obviously, we have issues with what you got. Okay. That the device you're using there. Like I said, can't use it, can't possess it. It's a straight up snagging hook. Period. I'm suspecting that hook right there is oversized. Okay. That treble hook cannot exceed 3/8 of an inch point to shank. Might sound weird, but a 38 caliber round is 3/8 of an inch, sidewall to sidewall. That slides between, which it clearly does. The hook's in violation. Okay, and that's on every one of them. It's just not one that you 3/8 of an inch. It has to be 3/8 or less. Typically number two.
Number two.
But depends on the manufacturer.
Okay.
In this case, for fishing with an oversized hook, one fisherman paid a court-ordered fine of $295. His friend pled guilty to 2 charges and paid 2 fines. For possession of a multi-pointed hook with a weight permanently attached, he paid $190. For snagging, he paid an additional court-ordered fine of $485.
A spoon is meant to be cast out and drugged through the water, imparting action to make the fish strike. The way you're fishing it, casting out, letting it sit there and wait for a fish to swim up to it, that's not how a spoon's meant to be fished. Okay, all you're doing is you're looking to snag fish with it.
The fisherman who had another hook in his truck that's illegal just to possess goes to the parking lot to retrieve it.
Yep. All right. Appreciate it. Take care. And there's the other one he had in his truck. So now we've removed 2 of them from circulation, and they'll most likely have to go out and pour some more or find some more to buy from somebody. This is the device I saw that guy using over there. And I keyed in on when I saw that big eyelet there in the shaft and all the pink, no weight up above. Even from a distance, I've dealt with enough of these that I knew exactly what we were dealing with. So literally, I'm trying to open this up here to show you, but literally all it is a big chunk of lead, probably about 2 ounces of lead, poured right on the shank of a giant treble hook.
The state of Michigan has a wide variety of game species, both big and small. By far, though, the most popular targets for hunters in the state are white-tailed deer. Opening day of the firearm deer season is anticipated like a holiday for many throughout the state. In District 3, a group of conservation officers are gathering around Sergeant Mark Depew as they prepare to patrol during the firearm opener.
So if this guy or this guy, and you'll have pictures with you, they're in either blind, bump me, and then we'll go from there.
Sergeant Depew has obtained warrants to seize 2 guns that he would like to have tested to see if they were used to illegally shoot an elk.
We're taking both of their guns. Both of their guns will go with us.
Expecting people in the other 2 blinds?
There are now, supposedly, people in the other 2 blinds, bait, whatever. I don't know if he has not bought a license. Bought a license last night, so at least he's legal, but they're all gonna have extra bait.
After a quick briefing, the officers split up to head to the areas where they believe the hunters and their firearms will be.
Sounds like quite a few guys back in with quads where they're not supposed to be. Not sure where they're all gonna be yet either.
We came in across a little pond there. So if we go, walk straight down here and then walk in, he's gonna be right here and left. Good, okay. Good, all right. Well, let's load up. Conservation officer.
No one is in the first blind that's checked by Sergeant Depew and Officer Nick Torsky.
We'll go down to the next blind. Right there it is.
The officers do see some hunters at the next blind they go to.
Game warden. We'll explain it. We'll explain it. Who are you? Okay, do you have an ID with you? Yeah. Can I see it? Hunting license too? How many guns do you have?
Just 1.
Okay. Where's everybody else?
They're on our property here.
Okay.
Acres.
Who's here?
My dad.
We're checking the area. We're just looking into something. Okay, I can't really tell you right now.
Usually hunts later in the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. God, on opening day, they don't come out. Huh, all right. Okay. You just got the 1 gun?
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry, I can't tell you what's completely going on. You'll figure it out eventually. But I apologize for any inconvenience. Make sure he wears the hunter orange, and enjoy. There's big, huge bucks out here, so don't let this minor inconvenience. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. Okay. All right, we're ready. Thank you.
Although these hunters are familiar with one of the hunters that Sergeant Depew and CO Torski are looking for, they do not have either of the guns that the officers are seeking.
It's an elk case. He shot an elk.
Sergeant Mark Depew and Officer Nick Torski are two of a group of officers trying to locate two firearms on the opening day of Michigan's firearm deer season. They would like to test the two guns they're looking for to see if either weapon was used in a case they're investigating about an illegally harvested cow elk.
We're doing a search warrant on his gun. He was supposed to be in his deer blind this morning, but he wasn't.
They've driven to a second location from where they started their day, and Officer Tim Roshaki has located one of the guns that they are looking for. He hands it off to Officer Torski.
What's going on here?
Well, I'll explain everything to you. I'm Mark Depew.
Mark?
Good to meet you. Could I talk to you for a second?
Sure.
We'll be
In my-
clear of the scene
I think
here.
I met you
I'm gonna be
2 weeks
following the
ago. Were
record
you in
too
a
on Eagle Lake Service.
CPO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in that class?
From Genesee County.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Come on over here. If you want to have a seat in my truck, I'll explain everything to you.
Okay, good.
We'll see what's going on. Well, I'm glad I met you before, so you know what kind of guy I am. He shot that elk.
Oh, see, I don't know anything about that.
He never mentioned anything
No,
to you, never said a word.
no.
I know the kind of guy you are, so maybe it's entirely possible he never said a word to you about that.
No, he didn't.
We had an elk that was shot, so...
On this property?
Well, no, but she died about 200 yards from where his blind is, that back southwest corner.
The man Sergeant Depew is talking to is familiar with the person he's looking for and calls him on his phone.
Hey, I got a guy here who wants to talk to you.
This is Mark Depew, conservation officer with the DNR.
Mark Depew?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, you?
Good, I need to talk to you. Are you home now, or are you somewhere that I can meet you?
I'm at home right now, yeah.
Okay, well, if you could just hang out there, and I'll be about half hour or so, and then I'll explain everything to you.
All right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Bye-bye. It was good meeting you again, sir, and you got my number, I got your number, and we'll go from there. So we went to execute the search warrant this morning on the two individuals that could be involved in the elk case. We made contact with one of the individuals who we seized his firearm, and now we're headed to the main suspect's residence who lives in town, and hopefully he'll be in possession of that gun. I have talked to him on the phone. I did have a short conversation with him. He seemed cooperative, but that could all change. So now we're headed to the city there and see if we can make contact.
Come on in.
Okay. How you doing?
Good, you?
Mark.
Sergeant Depew spent about an hour conducting an interview in the home of the suspect. Upon concluding his interview, he emerged with the firearm that he had the search warrant for.
I'll be in contact.
If I can help you, let me know.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Then he meets up again with Officer Nick Torski.
I got the gun. Yeah. He's like, I didn't shoot that elk. Here's the gun. I'll give you the gun. Here's bullets that goes with it. So it might not be either one. But he was very overly friendly, you know, following out to the car. You're not going to find anything. And he tapped, you know, so really nervous. But the nice thing about that, we'll know it's him. Well, then I'll take his gun. And it worked, so good.
Sergeant Depew gets the first gun from CO Torski so that he has both firearms in his truck.
I'll have you sign the search warrant as a witness too.
Then they fill out some paperwork.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Real nice guy. And he's a straight shooter, I think. And it could very well not be them.
Welcome to the MSU STEM Teaching and Learning Facility in the Shaw Lane Power Plant renovation. This is about 175,000 gross square feet building of a combination between new build and a renovation of the old Shaw Lane power plant from the 1940s.
The STEM teaching and learning facility that's under construction on the campus of Michigan State University is using mass timber as its load-bearing structure. Mass timber is very popular in Canada and Europe, but in the U.S., there are only around a dozen buildings that have been constructed or currently being constructed using mass timber.
Mass timber is a construction technique that uses engineered wood beams and panels to construct buildings, as opposed to traditional concrete and steel.
It's short for massive timber. It's when the weight-bearing structure of the building is constructed out of wood.
Basically plywood on steroids made with 2x4s instead of thin plies or veneer.
This whole panel is about 3 stories high. It came on one flatbed truck. So this is one continuous panel going straight up approximately 3 stories, and then they're together in pieces to create the stairwell.
Architects have a lot of interest in it, partly for the aesthetics, but also a big part of that is because of the carbon and climate benefits of this way of constructing buildings. And we brought it to the attention of university leadership on the operations side of the university, and they were intrigued with the possibilities.
We want to construct a building that is going to be here for a long time. So when you look at these kinds of structures and all of this additional steel, it really is to give that building the sense of longevity that we have for Michigan State University, again, making maximum use of those dollars.
When trees are growing, they're taking carbon out of the atmosphere, and the trees are using that carbon to make wood. So when you put wood into a long-lived structure, you're basically extending the carbon benefits of that living tree. And you'll be adding 100 or 200 years of those carbon benefits for that growing tree, where that carbon is being stored and is out of the atmosphere.
The DNR is very interested in promoting the use of wood in construction, including mass timber. Mass timber has a lot of advantages for the state. And some advantages over traditional concrete and steel. First of all, wood is a renewable product. Last I looked, we are still growing wood on trees, and steel and concrete are intensive materials that require intensive inputs, and of course they're not renewable, they're finite.
All of this is really dependent upon sustainable forest management. So when you harvest the trees and you make these glulam columns and the cross-laminated timber panels, you're replanting the forest or managing it so it regenerates. And so while you have this building that's storing the carbon, you have new trees that are growing and are taking up more carbon from the atmosphere.
Sergeant Mark Depew is part of a team that started the opening day of Michigan's firearm deer season, trying to locate 2 guns that they suspect may have been used to illegally harvest game. After stopping by a couple of hunting properties as well as the home of a suspect, Sergeant Depew now has both of the firearms. He's entering them into evidence so that the Michigan State Police can perform tests on them to compare them to a bullet that was found in an illegally taken elk.
These 2 guns were on a search warrant from this morning. We had an elk shot, a cow elk. We originally thought that the one gun that was recovered was the shooter of that elk, but it came back inconclusive, it wasn't. So then I did a search warrant on these 2 guns. So this is the bullet that was recovered from the elk that you guys have had and then we're bringing you 2 fresh guns to check.
Approximately 2 months after Sergeant Depew got the firearms, Michigan State Police Sergeant James Buck begins his analysis of the guns.
Documenting what the firearms were as far as caliber, make, model, and type. And then now what we're going into is actually examining the firearm for its characteristics. On any exam we do, we come in to do the exam, we document exactly what we have and formally get that into the case, and then continue on into the exam and determine what the characteristics are around the firearm prior to shooting it. And we're also looking to make sure that the firearm is actually functional and safe to fire. So I've completed the initial examination on both of these firearms. And now that I've documented the class characteristics on this, I already know now that this firearm is eliminated based on the class characteristics that I have on the fired bullet. So I know that this gun was not used just simply by the rifling that's within the barrel. It's completely different rifling. This firearm here, at this point, does have the same type of rifling. So with this one now, we'll continue forward with this one and take the test shots.
Sergeant Mark Depew of Michigan's Law Division of the DNR, along with a team of other officers, seized 2 firearms on the opening day of Michigan's white-tailed deer firearm season. After gaining possession of the guns, Sergeant Depew passed them along to the Michigan State Police for testing to see if they match a bullet that was used to illegally harvest an elk a couple of years earlier.
Now that I've documented the class characteristics on this, I already know now that this firearm is eliminated based on the class characteristics that I have on the fired bullet. So I know that this gun was not used just simply by the rifling that's within the barrel. It's completely different rifling.
Sergeant James Buck of the Michigan State Police has already ruled out one gun that was seized. He continues to test the other firearm.
This is a tank that's full of water. That gives us our best opportunity to recover the bullets in the best condition we can get them. So they'll hit the water and they just slow down and drop to the bottom of the tank. So what we're going to do here is we'll take the 2 test shots. We'll look at the casings and the fired bullets on normal circumstances. With this particular incident, we're just concerned with the bullets. So we'll get the ventilation system fired up and then take the 2 test shots, recover them out of the water, and then go take a look at them under the microscope. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! This is typical of what takes place with high caliber rifles and so forth, is they've got enough energy that when they make impact with the water, they'll come apart. So it's not uncommon to have to take additional test shots, and then what we do at this point is take the bullet apart, remove some of the powder, and then put it all back together, and then shoot it again. Because what we're trying to do now is slow that bullet down, to where it doesn't come apart like these did. So we have 2 good full charge test shots, which gives us our best marks on the breech face of the casing, which is what we want. But now we'll need to download bullets to try to recover these bullets without them being damaged. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Here's what we have. We've got 2 bullets now that are intact, just by removing 20% of the powder charge. So you'll be able to test those. So these we'll be able to sit down and look at. Okay, so this is the bullet that was recovered. This was removed from the elk. And you can see overall it's in pretty good shape. But having said that, until you get it under the microscope, that's when you can really determine what exactly you have to look at there. I'll usually spin the bullets to see if there's something there that will kind of jump out at me. What I have here is my 2 test shots, again 3 and 4, that I have indexed to each other. So then what I would do is once I believe I have those indexed, then I would travel around that bullet and rotate them in sequence with each other. And again, check all of my land impressions, and I would even be looking at the groove impressions, which would be these areas on each side of the land. This is our evidence bullet now that was removed from the animal. And this is our test shot, so we have a pretty distinct difference in the width of that land impression. The second firearm here, which is what we took the test shots on, we're actually examining, does have the same rifling characteristics. And one of the problems that we have here with the evidence bullet is the condition that the bullet is actually in. That's going to make it very difficult to make an identification, if not impossible. With the condition of the bullet, it's going to stay inconclusive, which means that I'm not going to be able to tell Officer Depew that this firearm did or did not fire the bullet that was recovered from the animal.
Since there was not a ballistics match with these firearms, this case remains open, pending the acquisition of further evidence. Michigan's winters can feel long and dreary to some, but to others, some snow on the ground and more than 6,000 miles of snowmobile trails in the state are a cold weather delight. Michigan Conservation Officer Charlie Jones is one of several on patrol during Tip-Up Town on and around Houghton Lake in Michigan's District 5. Typically held in mid-January, Tip-Up Town is Michigan's longest-running winter festival and offers a wide assortment of outdoor activities.
Hey, so I'm Conservation Officer Jones. I'm posted in Kalkaska County. Here we're Houghton Lake in Roscommon County. And today is Tip-Up Town this weekend. So a lot of guys are going to be out ice fishing, a lot of side-by-sides, a lot of different events going on. Basically, us conservation officers, we're out here just making sure people are safe, checking snowmobile registration, and checking ice fishermen too. And the other thing is just make sure that everybody's having fun safely, doing the right thing, and there's no going to be any injuries or anything like that.
Guys, how are we doing today? Good.
First day out.
Yeah.
Year, so.
Okay. Outstanding.
How's that ice out over there in these caves?
Yeah, I was over there yesterday. If you go where that sunken island is, there's a big crack that kind of goes around it. But if you keep going a little further out, you drive over it looked like where it just froze over. And I talked to a guy over here, and he said that the ice froze. Maybe it was open water last week. So
I heard that, when I saw the paper. I was wondering. Everybody's saying there's 10, 12 inches out here.
Yeah, some guy. It ranges. I'm gonna say, 7 to 16 inches of ice. So, guy had a big block from his spear and shack. So, but there's no such thing as safe ice though. At the same time. So, all right. Yeah, all right, sir. Have a good day.
Early in his shift, C.O. Jones encounters two off-road vehicles that aren't properly licensed. One has an expired license, and the other doesn't have one at all. Both ORVs are being operated by minors who are siblings. The machines are both owned by their father.
Yeah, so both of these ORVs here, they don't have. She's got an expired ORV sticker, and this ORV right here doesn't even have one on it. So, you can guess they're the dad's machines. So we're gonna write Dad just one citation. For the expired and no sticker there. So
in this case, for not having a valid ORV license, which is a civil infraction, this individual paid a court-ordered fine of $100.
all right, sir. So here again, you're gonna be issued for no ORV sticker. That one doesn't even have it on it, and that one's expired. So then we're gonna give you a verbal warning for the expired. Okay. So out of the two, you get one. So again, it's a civil infraction. It's gonna be the 82nd court here in Roscommon County. So within 10 days, just give them that and call them. And if you have any questions, just give them that call. So, got any questions?
No.
Okay. All right.
Pretty much sums it up.
Yep.
I'm going home now. You ruined my day.
Oh, come on. No, the cold's going to ruin your day with anything, right?
I'll be inside.
Okay. All righty. Be safe. Have a good day.
Michigan Conservation Officer Charlie Jones is one of a team of officers on patrol during Tip-Up Town in the state's northern Lower Peninsula. Prior to making contact with the public, CO Jones and the other COs working this detail met briefly to discuss details of the operation and to ensure that they stay safe and warm.
It's cold out today. If you guys get too cold, feel free to come in at any time and warm up. I don't want anybody getting frostbite out there. It's not going to be fun. Tomorrow's going to be worse.
Stay in your groups. You're assigned to either groups of 2 or 3. Stay in your groups. Over the years, we've had people assaulted out here, officers. This seems to be the place it's going to happen if it's going to happen. So know where your partners are at all times. Doesn't mean you have to walk 3 guys to every shanty, but you need to be in that general vicinity. You need to stick together so everybody knows where everybody's at.
After patrolling on Houghton Lake to begin a shift, CO Jones and some other officers head to a busy snowmobile intersection to monitor the level of activity there.
We're gonna go down to the snowmobile trail. It's four corners of the county, 4 different counties, and just see the activity coming up. And again, since Tip-Up Town, it's gonna be fairly busy here and traffic's gonna start picking up. So we're gonna go down and kind of patrol some of the snowmobile trails, see what's going on.
This is a county road. This is the snowmobile trail here, and this takes them down to Leota.
You can hook 2 different trails, but you can go to Leota or Lake James.
And then that's the main trail system that we just came down from Houghton Lake. And then if you go to the very northwest corner of Houghton Lake, that's where you can pick up the trail system to keep going to Crawford, Kalkaska, Misaki.
Okay.
Roscommon. So what we're doing here is this is just kind of a strategic spot to sit where they have to stop before they cross a county main road, which means we can check for registrations and trail permits and without having to chase people down.
What do you think I'm stopping to talk to you about?
My noise?
Okay. Noise is not necessarily an issue.
Yes, sir.
But the way you came around that corner and up that hill, this is a county road.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You're not going to be the only ones that are operating on this road, so you need to be careful, because what if you came around that corner or up this little hill and somebody else did the same thing? What would have happened?
I agree.
You guys would have, it would have been a bad news.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So we don't mind you guys being out here. We like you guys being out here, but at the same time, we want everybody to be safe, right? Okay. As long as you guys got seatbelts on and everything, you got ORV stickers?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where are you guys from?
Well, we're from, she's from White Lake. I'm over in Macomb County.
Okay.
And then we have a place in Clear Lake.
Okay.
And we're going to see some family at Houghton.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well.
And what was your name?
Officer Jones.
Justin. Nice to meet you, sir. I
Nice
appreciate you guys being out here.
Yep. So all I'm asking is just don't be doing that kind of stuff out here, okay? There's a lot of traffic, and unfortunately people they're drinking, and it's going to be not the way you kind of want it. So just be safe, okay?
No problem.
All right, guys. Yep. Have a good one.
It was a toss-up between ice fishing and doing this, and we decided I'd just go for a ride.
Right. No, and it's cold either way. How you doing? How's it going? All right, I'm just checking your registration. How you doing? Good.
Beautiful day, man.
Just make sure when you come around, almost when you come up to a road, just make sure you kind of slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't cause any issues. How you doing? Good. What's that? Yeah, beautiful and cold, right? Yeah. Is that stuck on there, or? Make sure it's just stuck. Okay. It's not really. Did you just get it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. I was just making sure it wasn't taped on, but you're good. Cool. Awesome. Be safe. Have a good day.
This is the Wing Shooting 101. All right, that's the way!
The Michigan DNR, in conjunction with wildlife organizations like the National Wild Turkey Federation and Pheasants Forever, endeavor to educate more people about the joy and satisfaction that can be gained by spending more time outdoors.
Many people don't have the opportunity. They don't have family members or
friends that hunt or shoot, and they want to try it. So these are great opportunities for them to come out and give it a try. And they may not like it. They may not like the bang of the gun or but at least they can come and try it, and it's in a safe place and safe manner to learn how to do these things.
We have seen a reduction in hunters over the years, and in Michigan alone, there for a while, we were losing like 20,000 hunters a year, and it was startling us. It was scaring us.
Majority of the people that come and do it, will continue. They may go back and grab their buddies and try to, start hunting and shooting, bringing them out to one of these classes to help out and learn that way.
The Wing Shooting 101 class takes place at a Michigan DNR facility and starts with shooting and safety lessons in a classroom setting, and then moves outdoors for opportunities to shoot at clay targets. It's intended to give the class attendees an idea of what it takes to hunt waterfowl, and especially upland birds. The class is part of the DNR's Learn to Hunt program.
I started out with the Learn to Hunt turkey, and some of those classes we came out here and shot some clay pigeons. So then that kind of became fun. So then I did a Learn to Hunt pheasant, and then got a shotgun and took the pheasant, learned to hunt pheasant, and then started doing the wing shooting classes, because just taking one doesn't get it. It takes a lot to be good at it and consistent.
We try to keep them fairly small and intimate, so we can work with the people on a better basis, so they can actually learn. Our hunting events, we provide quality mentors that gets them out in the field and provides a great atmosphere and that relaxed atmosphere that they can feel comfortable doing. And it's not, about harvesting an animal as much as showing them the experience.
It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of learning a new skill and, something different, something out of the ordinary for most women. But, there's a lot of women that do hunt. You just don't see as many.
You're shooting at a flying bird, so it takes a little bit more skill, and it requires more practice, and that's why we provide these courses and open that up to these students that are taking this class.
It's a great venture with all three of us, DNR, Pheasants Forever, and WTF. We're all working together because we're basically all working towards the same goal, is to get more hunters, to come out and help with the conservation efforts.
I just think the Learn to Hunt program is a great program, and more people should get involved.
Snowmobiling and ice fishing are enjoyed by many in Michigan, but the northern half of the state typically sees the most activity for outdoor recreating in the winter. From Houghton Lake, where Conservation Officer Charlie Jones is on patrol, it's approximately 50 miles to Otsego Lake Park in the state's District 3. Where Officers Tom Oberg and Kyle Cherry gather to begin their evening shift. They are two of several officers monitoring snowmobilers on a busy Saturday in January. Early in their shift, they can't see valid registration and trail permit stickers on 3 machines that pass them, so they turn around to pursue them.
There should be another sticker on the side or a paper registration. Whose snowmobile is it?
Buddy of mine.
Is he with you?
No, he's actually coming back. He just purchased a new sled up at Extreme Motorsports.
Okay, gotcha. Do you have a driver's license or anything on you?
And I can call him and see if he's got it in. Yeah, but then
Yeah, we're looking. See the sticker on the side there? That's your registration. That's what we're looking for. Are you guys all from North Carolina?
No, I'm North Carolina, Arizona, Florida, or Atlanta, and then the rest of us are elsewhere.
Okay, gotcha. Second here. There should be a. Yeah, he doesn't have it in like a. He doesn't by chance have it up here, does he? Did you look there? Show me the registration for this one real quick. Yeah, that's not this snowmobile. That's the owner right there. Can I talk to him?
The 3 snowmobiles are all owned by someone else who's letting his friends borrow them for the day. Officer Cherry speaks with the owner of the machines on the phone.
This is Conservation Officer Cherry. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. We're just trying to sort out what you got going on here. We're with a couple of your buddies here, and sounds like the snowmobiles are registered to you.
Yeah, they're all mine. I didn't realize I needed to put those on. I just picked up another sled. I'm like, you gotta put the registration on it. I'm like, I don't think I ever got them, and then I just found those 3 in that back pouch.
Yep. You need the registration stickers on them, and they should have paper registrations somewhere inside the snowmobile. So.
Did you get the 3 that I sent? Because I sent.
I've seen one so far. Is there 2 more?
I sent 3 of them.
Did you get 2 more?
Yeah, no, my brother was on the other one, so it might be in the back of his.
Okay.
We couldn't match the other sled.
Yeah, I've seen one of them so far, and it doesn't match the snowmobiles here. I got a black Polaris Rush right here. How long you had that one?
I've had all of them the same. I bought them all the same year. So
when was that? When was that? That might help us out.
I think they're 18s.
You bought them new in 2018?
Yeah. Here, I got the registration here. Let me open them up and tell you.
Okay. Just be available if I need. I'm trying to figure this out real quick. If I need to call you, just make sure you answer your phone, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. All right. Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
After checking with dispatch, the officers learned that these 3 snowmobiles all have the proper registration and permits.
Have them get all the stickers on everything, make sure there's paper copies inside the snowmobiles, because, at the end of the day, you still could get a ticket just for not having them on, because we can't obviously spend all our time stopping guys who don't have their stickers on when they're registered. Yeah, so just...
They might not have known last year, too, because I don't ever remember them. I don't know.
That's fine. Just warnings today. Everything comes back good, and you guys, have good driver's licenses, and everything comes back registered. So just make sure you get them on. Yep, on the forward half of the snowmobile. So yep, they'll be on both sides. There will be 2 of them if it's a Michigan snowmobile.
Okay, but you don't put it here.
Nope. You'll do on either side there, on both sides. So yep, nope. You guys are good to go. So I'm glad we got it cleared up for you. Yep. Be safe.
A frequent issue that Michigan conservation officers encounter with snowmobilers, especially during the evening, is operating their sleds under the influence of alcohol. One technique for trying to pinpoint such operators is monitoring stop signs on snowmobile trails for drivers that ignore the signs. In District 3, nightfall has arrived, and Officer Tom Oberg and Kyle Cherry are observing a busy intersection. They watch dozens of machines stop properly at the sign. Later, the officers notice one driver proceed through the stop sign without stopping. They get moving on their sleds to initiate contact with the operator.
How's it going tonight? Is that your group up there you're with?
Yeah, we're actually trying to get to that Porter house to get our prime rib today.
Gotcha. How long have you been riding for?
Today?
Yeah.
Since 9 o'clock.
Okay. The reason I stopped you is because you didn't stop at the stop sign right back there, and you happened to be the lead one when you went through it. So did you see the stop sign at all, or?
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that I didn't.
Okay.
I'm living in frustration, just getting beat up up this trail today.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I knew we're going right there.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, you're in Valparaiso. Is that your current address and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this snowmobile registered to you?
Yes.
Do you have the paper registration with it, or do you have those in Indiana?
I think I do.
Okay. I don't know if they have paper regs in Indiana.
Well, I've got a registration sticker, which is current.
Yep.
And then I got my Michigan tag up front.
Okay, gotcha. Nope, that's good. So.
But it is registered to me. It's my sled.
Okay. Any drinks at all tonight yet?
No.
Okay.
No. Last place I was at had water.
Okay.
And a cheesecake.
Gotcha. Where was that at?
Thirsty Sturgeon.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Up in Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Just gonna check your eyes just real quick, just make sure you didn't have any drinks. Okay. Just look at my finger, would you? All right, just keep following my finger. Okay. Okay. No alcohol at all today then?
I did have a beer when I was here at noon today.
Okay, gotcha. That was the last one.
That was the last
okay.
one.
All right, sounds good. Driver's license is valid and everything like that?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
You can see I've took it a long time.
All right, perfect. Just hang tight for 1 second, all right?
This man says that he's frustrated with the bumpy conditions of the snowmobile trail, and with his destination very close, he's anxious to get there and get off his sled. He acknowledges that he didn't stop properly.
You could be getting a citation for running the stop sign. Make sure you're stopping at all of them, okay? I'm gonna give you a warning today.
The best.
What's that?
You're the best.
You're getting a warning today, but you got to make sure. I realize the trails, you might be frustrated, but you're also crossing roadways here where cars are going through, so you got to make sure that you're doing your due diligence, okay?
No problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, be safe, okay?
Am I done or?
Yep, you're good to go.